Well, good Sunday morning to you. It's a beautiful day out. The birds are all going. Jess has her bird feeders all filled up, and she's been waiting for the birds, and they've been a little slow this year. But just thought I'd hop on here and say, people, if you don't have hobbies outside, you really need to get some. We are actually seeing the garden come up, and it looks like I need to get in there and start doing some weeding. And Jessica has really put a lot of work into our potatoes and onions and all of that. I don't see much of it. Oh, that's all garlic. And she has a garlic sprout already started. This is her flower bed. And I can see all the little grass coming up. I couldn't really weed right at the time because I couldn't see the rows. I guess I got to remember to mark the rows out. I'm not a farmer. I'm a hobbyist farmer. So live and learn. But it does look like our squash, we're going to train them to go up there, and some tomatoes. Looks like we've got our peas coming up. I think I see a watermelon. Actually, some of those are zucchini. That's squash. So it'll be interesting to see how the garden does this year, because I tried to do no-till for the last 2 years. I couldn't pull it off. So, the horse is wanting fed. She's rather demanding. But I'll take you back here. Jess created this space. Our strawberries are going nuts. Rhubarb's up. Really don't know what to do with the rhubarb. I guess I could try to do a strawberry rhubarb pie. Jess has made herself a little area back here where she can go and hide. And the thing I got to do today is I got to get the grass mowed. And before I can do that, I got to get in the barn here. And I have to go in and let's open that door. Get some lights on. I tell you, probably 20 or 30 years ago, probably 20 years ago, I bought that mower. And I don't want to jinx it, but that mower has been an absolute rock star. And I got to replace the bolts because that spindle broke. I'm just going to pull in a Disney. If you ever read about Walt Disney, when they go change lights, they change all the lights. And so I'm just going to get in there, and it was like, I told Jess I needed that many 12, 16 bolts, whatever it is. And she was like, why do you need that many? And I was like, if I'm going to get under there and I'm going to take this apart and do this, might as well do it all at once and just be done with it. So I'm actually going to use the tractor, and I use that chain on the deck, and then I lift it up, and then I can crawl under there, and hopefully I don't get my head squished. So I'll get to that. I'll throw some videos up of it, but my overall arching point here is get outside, get some sun, get that early morning sun. It helps set the circadian rhythm. And, I don't put my sunglasses on early in the morning, because that blue light, when it hits your eyes, it helps set the suprachiasmatic nucleus. I know you guys don't care about that, but it helps set that circadian rhythm. And that circadian rhythm will help you sleep. We have so many patients that can't sleep. And, get out and do something. And if you're getting out and you're doing something, the next thing is get up with the sun and go to bed with the sun. I always get up at about 7 o'clock at the latest. Typically, if I go to bed, around 8 or 9, I'm up by 5. And so that's good, and that's my pattern. And that way I get 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep. And that just keeps me energized. And so I got up kind of late today, but got plenty of work to do. And by the time I get done tonight, well, I'll be ready for bed. And that's the idea. Get in a routine that allows you to get that 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And, I'm not a farmer, so I'm not one of these guys who's just working his tail off. During the week, I'm pretty sedentary, and I'm always doing notes and sitting with patients and doing that kind of stuff. And so I have to look for chances to work and to work hard. That's why I still ride the bike, I still run. But the body's meant to move. And if you're getting up and you're sick and you're tired and all the time, being healthy is pretty easy. There's 5 pillars to health. Sleep is number 1. Nutrition and movement or exercise, those two go hand in hand. They go right together. And then you have stress, and last but not least, you have community. And pretty much all of those factors are within your control. So if you have stress, identify what the stress is coming from and start to fix it. Make a plan. When I used to have tremendous amounts of stress, it was only when I would sit down. Yes, I hear you. She's kicking the fence. It was only when I started to make a plan and try to get out of all the stress that I was in that it actually started to fade. So this is Dr. Miller with Integrated Health of Indiana. I am in my barn and getting ready to do some work. I'll show some pictures of before and after. Not super interesting, but hey, have a great day. So, as I was talking about in the short video before, we were talking about, hobbies. And one of the things I've done as I've gotten older is learned how to fix things mechanical in the house and doing construction, not too bad. But as you can see, this spindle here has broken its bolts and it's loose. It scalped the yard in several places, and so I got to fix it. To get there, though, had to blow off the deck and get all that cleaned up. And once I finally got the tractor out and we got the mower set up, then I could hook to it and lift up the tractor, and then I could get under there. This was actually a 2-person job, and Jessica has smaller hands than I, so she could get into the area with the wrenches and stuff. I don't know how people like Danny Dekoff and those big guys get in these little areas with these wrenches and stuff, but it is the tip of the hat to you fellas, cause man alive, I was not getting her done. Jess had to come in and help me out, and we got it done. So then you can see the new bolts in there, and it's all square. So here's just a question. The right hand, the middle finger of the right hand, I wear a hole in all of my gloves right there. And I love these Works gloves. They do great job. They protect my hands. As some of you know, I am a chiropractor, and so I protect my hands because that is my actual ultimate living. And here, Jess started picking berries. I picked berries when I was younger. We had massive strawberry rows, but she guilted me into it. We got them all picked, and she actually got those pureed, and we're ready to start making some healthy desserts, no sugar added, just using the sweetness of either the berries, or we might even add some pineapple to it. So, what she didn't tell me, or what she actually sprung on me, is hey, we've got to get the horse some hay, and the 75 bags of mulch are in the driveway on the trailer, and only you can get them off. So here you see me cheating a little bit. I like using the tractor whenever I can. So I would load 10 bags of mulch into the bucket, and I would take the tractor over to the drive. You can't see it, but behind there is a pallet, and I restacked all of the bags of mulch by myself. Good workout, actually. Rather enjoyed it. And here's Jessica going to town on the flower beds. And I thought this was going to be it, and I was going to be able to go on a bike ride. Nope. And right here you see this is the backyard, and this is our fire pit. And we're getting ready to burn a bunch of the stuff that we cleaned out. But what I'm showing you here is this poor pear tree gets scorched. And what you will notice is up there is a bird's nest. Here is a close up of the bird's nest in the pear tree and the mother robin sitting on eggs. You can't see the babies. So the fire pit will go unused until the fledglings fly the coop. We don't want to hurt Mother Nature. But some of Jessica's flowers, and then this is a before, and now you can kind of see the mess we made. There's bags, and we moved everything out so that Jess could get in there. And basically, we throw 10 bags of mulch in the bucket. So I moved it all, or I loaded it all in the bucket a second time, and we took them around the flower beds. And Jess gets down on her hands and knees and spreads all that mulch. So I may whine about picking up the bags essentially twice, but she gets down there and spreads all that mulch right in with her hands after I dump it in a pile, and gets it all around all the flowers. And so looks beautiful. She does a great job. And there's some more of the flower beds. And then here is some more of the flower beds. Our yard, I do have to admit, our yard is pretty awesome. And we have all kinds of wildlife. We don't treat our yard with any chemicals. And so we have tons of worms, and we can go outside and just sit and have a drink. And here's my cup with water in it. And as we do that, we can watch all kinds of nature, and we can see squirrels and birds, and actually the multitude of birds is actually quite amazing. And so, with that all said, that was from 8 in the morning till about 2 in the afternoon. And then, as I was talking about other hobbies, here are some of my other hobbies. I am a pretty avid cyclist, and because if you listen to me, you hear me talk about movement all the time. I have a road bike and a mountain bike. Which one is my favorite? That's like asking me which child is my favorite. I love them all. After that, I've always had a fascination with remote controlled vehicles, and this is my most recent addition, which is a little remote control, ready to fly foam trainer. Has a gyro in it, and it does fabulous. This one is small, so if you turn the gyros off, it is twitchy. Indoor hobbies that I have. So I am studying to become a private pilot, and that way Jess and I can do all of our adventures and go to more national parks easier without the hassle of going through ATF, or not ATF, but going through clearances and checks and spending hours upon hours in airports. Um, I am also learning here a couple of my guitars, an acoustic and my electric. Once again, using different parts of the brain to stimulate that growth so that I don't become sedentary and boring and bland. And exercising the brain helps ward off Alzheimer's and dementia. So always be doing something new. And then here are my weights. I come to the clinic in the morning. I get my movement on. I get my weights to help keep from atrophying. I mean, I'm over 25 to 30 years of age at 54 currently. And if you don't exercise, then you will not maintain your muscle mass. And losing muscle mass is one of the hallmarks of decline and aging. So, just a few more of the things, but if you follow us, you'll see us at all kinds of places pursuing our Parks Pass. So, that's another thing that I would say, hey, this will get you out, get you walking, get you doing things. So, that's enough for today. You all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.